Vera first appeared in a book called The Crow Trap, and it wasn't going to have a detective in it at all. I had a very young new editor who decided that traditional crime fiction wasn't going to sell anymore. So could I write a big standalone psychological novel that didn't have a detective in it? But because I don't plot in advance, I got really stuck with the story and where it was going. And it was Raymond Chandler who said, if you're stuck with a story, have a guy burst through a door with a gun. But I don't really do guns because it takes too much research. But I was writing a funeral scene, and in this particular little chapel, I had all the mourners there, and the door burst open, and in came Vera Stanhope. And she had her name, and she was wearing sandals, the sort of sandals that walkers wear, and her skin was poor, and she was carrying all her notes in a Tesco's carrier bag. And that's how she arrived, really. I think I very much wanted an antidote to the glamorous crime fighters that particularly were on television at that time. You know, the whole CSI thing with Americans with great teeth and long hair and heels. How are you going to chase villains if you're wearing heels? It just seemed bizarre to me. And my daughters were at school when I started writing it, and there was one teacher who was brilliant and authoritative and great at what she did, but she did look a bit like Vera, and that's where her appearance came from. I'm not sure that Vera in essence has changed at all. I think maybe she's got a little softer as she's got more experience. The thing that I know most about Vera is that she hates to be patronised, and so she refuses to patronise any of her team. And I think over the years she's realised that maybe just a few words of praise is encouraging rather than demeaning. And so I think she's learnt to manage her team a bit better as we go on. I think having her played by Brend Blethyn, who's gorgeous when in real life, that has taken a bit of the hard edges off my image of Vera as well. I think my readers, especially women of a certain age, like to see a single woman who's strong and competent but doesn't care what she looks like. I think they find it quite liberating. But younger people enjoy her too. I think, again, because lots of people came to her through the television, and it's a show that generations watch together on a Sunday night. I heard lots of older women say that their grandchildren like sitting with them and watching episodes of Vera, and that then brings younger people to the books, which is lovely. It was quite odd seeing Vera being brought to life for the first time, but it didn't feel in any sense personal to me, because I think that I don't feel that the books belong to me once they're out there in the world. You know, once they look like real books, once I get the page proofs, they're not really mine anymore. They belong to the readers who are going to come to them, because every reader brings their own imagination to the books. They create the pictures in their head. You know, I might provide a framework or a structure, but it's the readers who turn them into their own stories. And really handing it over to a director and a script editor and a writer and the actors is only a little extension of that. I think Brenda has affected the writing in one sense because she's so good at that witty put down and that sharp response to her team. And I think I do write lines that I think Brenda would love to say. I think one of the script writers said that she was like a fine racehorse approaching a jump. You know, she'd see a line and she'd really go for it. And so sometimes I do write a bit of dialogue and think that I hope the script writers will keep that in, because Brenda's going to love saying it, but also is going to be brilliant saying it. So there's that, and I think she's brought so much to the character too. So it feels very much that it's our Vera now, not hers and not mine, that they've become one. I think in the rising tide, because Vera's working with older people, a group of people in their mid-60s, and she in the books is late 50s because she's not aging in real time. I think it brings her up sharp a bit because it's making her contemplate the fact that she is getting older, that eventually she will have to retire, and that sense of almost panic about what she'll do when she doesn't have her team and she doesn't have work. But I think she's safe for a bit because as I'm not aging her in real time, she can go on for a lot longer yet.